Hey, what is happening, Unproductive Nerd audience? It's Jack here, one of your main co-hosts. Before we get into this week's fun, intriguing, good time episodes, I've got a bit of an apology to make. We didn't have an episode last week, and don't worry, this isn't a thing about Lemony Snicket. I'm not apologizing to that man, but we didn't have an episode last week, which was, And this week, we had an episode, and we planned to shoot a whole episode about Iron Fist and Power Rangers and the Justice League, but something came up. So we could only shoot like half an episode. So if this episode feels kind of patchy or there's one or two weird kind of edits, that's because we either got interrupted or people had to leave or, we got kicked out of the place. Yes, we actually get kicked out in the end. But thank you for sticking with us. Next week we will have a proper and better episode. And if you can make it through this episode, I am really, really thankful. We do put a lot of work into these, and we're just happy there's people out there listening. Well, I'll let you guys get into the show. Bye.
So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
Hey, welcome back to Unproductive Nerds. I'm the one who always does the intro, Jack. How's everyone?
You!
Come on, just get out of here.
Hello, and welcome back to Unproductive Nerds.
Yeah.
I am Rhiannon, and again, I am joined by my co-hosts, Jack.
Hello.
And John.
Yeah.
And this week, we are joined by our two lovely friends,
Double trouble.
Dan.
Hi, I'm Dan, and this is Unproductive Nerds, the podcast that I host, and I'm today here with my co-hosts, Jack and John.
Hey, guys.
Today we're welcoming two new guests, Rhiannon and Ophelia.
You just pointed at the wrong one.
Visual jokes that the audience won't get.
Oh, that is great.
And we are also joined by our lovely friend Ophelia, who has been an ex-silent observer on this show. Hi.
She was the first.
back.
She was the second
sound
observer.
Yeah.
Did she really just come on and not say?
Same with Freya.
The first silent observer.
First sounds observer.
Who shall not be named.
So, this week, we are talking Iron Fist.
We are talking Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
The cool kids just call it fist, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
I actually just call it the.
I actually abbreviate it to iFist, but okay.
What about Tiff?
Ah, Tiff is good.
Tiff.
Well.
Tiff.
We're also talking some news stuff, because there was some news stuff, including a Justice League trailer, which we're going to do a live reaction to.
Live reaction, guys. We're just like the YouTubers who stream their reactions.
You know, guys,
Cancer React, the Fine Brothers are going to get onto us.
Oh, shit.
That joke.
I honestly can wait
really?
for this Justice League trailer.
I'm really hyped for
I
it.
can wait.
excited.
I'm the opposite of hype for it.
Yeah, I was talking to John about this earlier, and I think it's fair to say our hype is just kind of gone.
You see,
Daniel, we don't have lives outside the podcast.
I'm sorry, I don't know any of you. I don't know you.
Don't
What
break
are
the
you doing?
immersion.
Who are you?
Don't break the immersion. You can't break the immersion. They have to think we just do the podcast.
Yeah.
we don't exist outside this podcast.
We
only
don't
have-
have voices.
Yeah.
We don't even have bodies.
We're fictional characters.
Yeah.
We just interact with each other for the entertainment of that one guy who listens to us.
Or alternatively,
Two guys.
we're always just naked when we do the podcast.
I am.
Oh, yeah.
I know that I'm naked.
I'm just saying somebody at the table's not wearing pants.
I'm holding my dolls in my hand right now.
Yeah, that would have been if you'd had something like a rubber ball in your hand. That would be another great visual gag that the audience wouldn't get.
Or if I actually had my balls in my hand. Which I did.
Yep, you
Yeah,
did.
I did.
So you want me to put your balls down or not?
So Iron Fist.
Iron
Iron
Fist.
Fist, guys.
Iron Fist was, I think, better than Luke Cage.
we get to Iron Fist at the end, but first can we do Justice League, because I really want to see Justice
Okay, let's
League.
watch the trailer.
So we're going to go off
Let's
topic.
all
Trailer.
scooch around.
Everybody gather around. Rhiannon, turn on your laptop.
Shut up.
Put the audio up full blast so the audience can hear the audio.
And maybe we'll get sued for copyright.
Hopefully.
I'll get the entire podcast muted. It's
Guys,
just
let me pull it up first, then.
a half-hour clip of absolute silence. Courtesy of Warner Brothers Entertainment.
I think it should just be the audio from Batman vs. Superman. Just 2.5 hours of just the audio version of Batman vs. Superman.
Which would be not a lot, because the script, I imagine, is only 5 sentences.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think the websites we use even put up a message saying that this audio has been removed for copyright purposes. So it would just be apropos of nothing, completely silent after the first 5 minutes.
That would be bold.
We're now on iTunes though, so yeah, we got approved for iTunes,
Are we?
which is great.
Did you just click explicit? E for explicit?
I did.
Well,
Lick my balls.
I like how
our trailer.
the only expletive you could think of was kick.
You know what it was? It was like the scene from the King's speech where he starts swearing for the first time.
I want to say cunt and tit at the same time, but it came out both.
Were you not trying to say kike or something?
What's kike?
Nothing. It doesn't mean
Look at those
anything.
dirty kikes over there.
Okay, no. That's a word for Jewish people. Don't say that.
Oh god. We said the theme of this episode would be we're not racist.
But it's okay because I'm Semitic.
Last episode...
Wink, wink.
Last episode we said this episode is... the theme is non-racism.
Okay, well, I would appreciate if you guys weren't racist for this episode, seeing as I am from China. So, or my parents.
No, we've already offended the entire continent of Asia.
No, that was just Japan, we're fine.
Hey, you offend one of us, you offend all of us.
Yeah, because y'all look like...
And we've already gone too far. Bye,
I
guys.
apologize.
All right, lads. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. This is the end of the podcast.
Yes, because you all
On
look
behalf of Unproductive
That's
Nerds, I
racist.
apologize to anyone who's been offended.
All right.
Anyway, I have our trailer pulled up. I don't know how to fuck I'm
Oh,
gonna
boy.
watch
Well,
it.
Rihanna doesn't get to watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
This is from a YouTube channel called Movie Clips Trailers. So,
It's starting. It's a horse.
okay, they're on a horse.
Okay, no talking. Shut up.
We have to talk.
Ponies.
We're doing a reaction.
No, we'll listen to it and then we'll do a talking over version as well.
You can skip this bit in the podcast.
We have to be ready. You, we, the others.
It's going to land the park.
There's an attack coming.
Bridge.
Far away.
Not coming, Bruce. It's already here.
Whoa. Oh, is that Blue Beetle? That's a parademon.
Where are they?
Jason Momoa,
Arthur Curry.
being a babe.
The Aquaman.
They call them rogue rabbits.
Organic and biomechatronic.
Was he just doing the Ninja Turtles and with a real
Like,
big toe?
did they just say biomechatronic?
Oh, that's a sweet
Should
shot.
probably move. Barry Allen.
Whoever you're looking for, it's not me. He's a Batman.
Oh shit. Holy fuck.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
Has to.
Ooh, that's cool. Cyborg has like a helmet.
What are your superpowers again?
I'm rich.
Yeah.
My turn.
I thought he said it Martha for a second.
Shall we?
It's good to see you playing well with others again. Just like a bat. I dig it. Maybe temporary.
Okay then.
I just want to make it known to the podcast listeners that there was a point in that trailer where me and Jack were just stuck in a warm embrace.
I looked up, and the two of them were like,
There's a couple of squeals there. They're just
embracing
me.
each other. It was real
Okay.
sweet.
Also, if there's any audio distortion, that's because I came right on top of the mic.
Okay, let's say pros first. Okay.
I like the aesthetic of the parademons. I like how they look.
Okay.
Affleck is a good Batman, so
Yeah.
I've started to like him.
I really like how the Flash's like movement works. I love the look of the
Yeah.
lightning.
Did you see the scale of the fights, though?
Yeah.
Like, were those Amazons running at the parademons? Because there was a big group
They
of
looked
people.
like
It's in the
Amazons.
Atlantics at one stage with Mira.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was that? Oh, yeah. I thought that was a dream sequence. But yeah, those
Also,
are the Atlantics.
We got to look at Billy Crudup, who I guess is playing Barry Allen's dad in this one.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
in prison. And
Yeah.
So
in prison for.
I really like
I
Billy
wonder
Crudup,
who
so-
killed the mother. It's not the Reverse Flash or anything like that.
And it's funny because Dr. Manhattan has blue lightning powers, and his son Barry Allen has blue lightning powers. Because that's the guy that played.
Billy
Dr.
Crudup
Manhattan.
played Dr. Manhattan.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Also, I love Wonder Woman's line in there. You said the age of heroes wouldn't come again. So I like to imagine there's been heroes before. Maybe
No,
she's
Greek
just-
heroes. She's referring to the Greek heroes.
It's the Watchmen. It's the Watchmen guys do Rebirth.
Now they're obviously doing the Justice Legion. Actually,
The Justice Society of America.
no, Legends of Tomorrow already did it.
I know. That's what I'm
Super
talking about.
Friends.
And they had like a...
Have you seen the newest episode of The Flash / Supergirl?
No.
They sing a song about being super friends.
I've seen.
That sounds so bad.
I've seen
my
the
God. I
song
haven't
with
seen
John
the new
Barrowman
season.
and Iris's dad. I thought it was amazing.
What do they do? What's like,
It's like
They
a
sing
wedding
the villain
something or
song.
something. I don't know. They're like,
No, it's a real Romeo and Juliet because they're the son and daughter of two opposite gangs.
actually, hold on. Justice League.
Back to Justice.
Back to
Okay,
Justice
Get to the
League.
Flash in a minute. Holy shit!
it was visually good, but
DC are the masters of trailers.
Suicide
Yeah,
Squad
that's
had a
true.
fairly good trailer.
See, that's the thing. Like, we haven't seen a bad Justice League trailer. Other than the Wonder Woman 1 clip, which I think all suck, but you know, whatever.
I like
The
Yeah.
newest one isn't bad.
No, it's good because it's a DC trailer that didn't show us the whole movie.
That
As
is
is
good.
this one.
Well, this is only trailer 2.
Yes.
So I mean,
they've
wait
got
for
at
it.
least 4 more trailers to spoil it for
Yeah.
us.
Okay. Well, cons. Just my thought. It all looked like the third act of BVS, wherein it was weird and it didn't really feel like they were in a city and stuff like that.
Pro, that was my favorite part of BVS.
Okay.
But sorry, personal preference.
I mean,
that's my favorite part.
it's just it was.
The rest is terrible.
Yeah, the last part of BVS, like, would have been great if they just took out a lot of the smoke effects and lightning effects and just said, hey, maybe we should show them the city a bit while they're fighting and destroying it to give them something to relate to in the
Then
actual
again,
scene.
you remember
But,
that last time they fought in the city?
yeah.
Superman killed a lot of people.
No, they evacuated that section of Gotham.
And
Where's
that
Metropolis?
part they fought in BVS was a derelict part, which would definitely still have homeless people and security guards.
Alright.
But they don't count.
But they don't count.
If homeless people die, no one cares.
Actually, sorry, another pro. It took me a very long time to realize they were using a remix version of Come Together
Yeah.
by the Beatles.
No one should ever cover the Beatles.
I know, but I thought it was great.
It was a good cover. I did like the electric guitar for the riff. That was nice.
I'm excited about how much action was in the trailer. There wasn't a lot of just standing on ceremony, which was a lot of Batman versus Superman.
So much
It was all
of it.
standing on ceremony, but it feels like just due to the amount of action we saw in the trailer, mathematically speaking, there can't be that many dull moments in the Justice
They
League.
kind of packed all that into the third act.
Yeah.
Well, Iron Man 2 put all of its action. It had like 12 minutes of action and put all of it in the trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, you're right, actually.
Like ruined the best part with the suitcase suit
Yeah.
and stuff, you know.
Or the scene where they're all in the big dome. And
I think
That's
Aquaman
just-
has the potential to be the secret weapon behind this movie.
Because he's Jason Momoa.
Because he's Jason Momoa.
He's good in everything.
And
He's their
because
Drax
he-
the Destroyer, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, because he said that line, I was this, like, oh, you dress like a bad, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that was a bit bad. That was a bit
I mean, it was a bit bad, but it gave an indication that they're not just making him Khal Drogo from the sea.
Yeah.
At least he's going to be able
That's
to
fine.
talk and wisecrack.
You can't have
Yeah.
two
Hey,
good
Khal Drogo-
even if it's
guys.
poorly written.
Khal Drogo was a witty guy. Remember that time he was fighting that guy and he said, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to put you out and the rain's going to fall on your corpse and your skin will rot and the worms will eat you. And the guy says, you'll have to kill me first. And Khal Drogo went, I already have. And then cut his throat open and tore like his tongue out.
Oh,
with his bare hand.
hilarious.
That scene was fucking funny.
Oh,
Is that the one where they give him, where he gets the boo-boo that...
Well,
that eventually kills him?
Yeah, because it's a
That kills him.
Yeah, he
Spoilers.
because it's a realistic show with dragons and zombies.
yeah, they put some lemony snicket poop in it, right? Oh, sorry, pig shit, whatever.
What the? That's just mean spirited. That's not nice.
No, Jack.
I
no,
watched a
back
series of
off.
unfortunate events. I wasted 8 hours of my life. I get to throw some insults at him.
So
Also, Dan, you brought up a great point earlier. That show has the best child slap in
You
it.
see, that's the thing. Like, I watched a series of unfortunate events also.
You poor thing.
I read the first 2 books and I've seen the movie, so it's a big part of my childhood. I enjoyed the first, because it went to 2 episodes. 8
episodes, so first
4
4
books, 2 episodes each. I enjoyed the first 2 books because that had nostalgia. The rest
Yeah.
did not. So it was kind of...
I made it to the third book.
I enjoyed 2 moments in that. The second I won't spoil because it is the only twist in it.
Yeah,
you know,
that is. I know
it's
the
a well
twist.
done
That's
twist.
A well
It's
done
good.
twist.
I didn't see it coming, and neither will the book readers, I think. But the first moment was Klaus is there, and Olaf is talking to his buddies at the table, and they're all bastards, and he's like, I'm an actor, and I'm a bastard, and stuff. And then Klaus comes in, and he's like, hey, we're kids, don't be a dick. And then Olaf just clatters him across the face, and he falls to the floor, and it's great.
It's what I've been waiting for the whole time. Like, just somebody hit those
That
children.
happens in the second episode, and it never reaches the height of that incredible slap again.
Also, in that episode, there's a musical scene where Neil Patrick Harris and a few of his actor friends break into
That's
song.
great as well.
That is amazing.
They never do that ever again.
They don't carry it through. I wish every episode had a song to it.
I'm getting the sense, Jack, that more and more that you're actually a musical man.
Yeah.
I used to be a guess. I'm really
Funny
back
how he
on
hasn't
board.
seen a lot of
Well, you got trouble, my friend.
Shut up.
One of these days, I'm just going to do every song in The Music Man, and none of you will be able to stop me.
Okay, so
Speaking of songs, John, do you want to sing your song that you wrote for us?
That's for us, Jack. That's for later.
All right, but you're
not singing that
We're
song.
ending the song. We're ending
He's
the podcast.
not singing that song.
He's singing the song.
He's not.
The manager has spoken. My
All right,
hands are
we told
tied.
Who wants him to sing
My
the
hands
song?
are tied.
We've already offended enough people.
Audience,
We
there's
do not
several
need
people
to
holding
listen.
I don't.
yeah, you can say.
I don't want to offend 52% of the planet.
Okay, well,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Okay. So
back to Justice League.
Back to Justice League.
there's this thing with the guys behind the DCEU at the moment. We live in a world where writers are constantly being bombarded with feedback from the people watching their shows. It's like, I think one of the problems with Sherlock was that Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat were too aware of the fans'
It
opinion.
became a fan service.
Oh yeah, they became too aware of fan opinions. And I think the problem with the DCEU writers are they're hearing all of the backlash. They're constantly aware of what the fans are saying, but they're misinterpreting what direction they should go with it. Like when people said Batman vs Superman was too dark, they reworked Suicide Squad to be a joke.
Yeah.
Like the original cut of Suicide Squad was going to be really dark, but instead of thinking, okay, so let's focus on what was bad about Batman vs Superman and fixing that in Suicide Squad and in Justice League, they heard that as Batman vs Superman was too dark, remove most of the Harley Joker stuff or rework it in Suicide Squad and remove all the dark shit. And I think now if they're going to be hearing the complaints about Suicide Squad and what was the main complaint about Suicide Squad? Everyone was overtly...
It was a piece of shit.
It was a piece of shit, yeah.
Don't make
But,
a piece of shit.
it was all too edgy and too self-serious while at the same time being poorly written. So I think the direction they're going to go with that in Justice League is they're going to be too self-aware.
Oh yeah, it's going to be quips. It's going to be, why do you dress like a bat?
And that's the thing,
Right.
with that bit there where he goes, good to see you playing well with others. Oh, we are good friends. Like bats, I suppose. It may be temporary, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, laugh, laugh. I feel that's the direction. They've taken that as what they've interpreted as that was what's wrong with Suicide Squad, and now they're going in the wrong
The
direction
thing
with
is,
it again.
they should have just smothered this whole thing in its sleep after Man of Steel. Because
Smothered it in its crib.
in its crib.
Kill the baby.
Kill the baby.
Now you see,
Jesus!
they're fine because one, these movies make money. No matter how bad critically they do,
that's
they're making
the-
money.
They make
It's not what they should do, it's
So,
what they can do.
Yeah, exactly. But they've already set up in Batman vs Superman a soft reboot in the form of the Flash, where Flash comes back.
I came too soon. They'll just do Flashpoint.
That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to have Superman come back in this movie. Also, I love how we don't see Superman in this movie, so they can try and keep.
They've already
Going back to his grave.
They've already every second scene it just cuts back, the pebbles levitate and then they fall again.
The farmer in Smallville must be the worst. So you just look to the field next to you and the corn is rising. Like, what's going on over there? Nothing.
Did you guys ever actually hear about that joke about the guy standing on top of the Empire State Building?
I think you've told us.
It's
Go on.
it's this Irish tourist, and he's gone to the Empire State Building, and there's an American man there, and he's all handsome and stuff. He's like, "Hey man, do you know about the updraft?" And then the Irish guy's like, "What? What are you talking about?" And he's like, "The updraft. It's a safety precaution. If you jump off the Empire State Building, there's an updraft, pulls you back up to the top level. You don't hit the ground." And the Irish guy's like, "Who's this guy?" We're like, "What's he do?" This guy's an idiot. And then the American guy's like, "Nah, man, I'll show you." So he goes and he takes a second, he makes it look all theatrical, and he goes. This is the visual part. Yeah. He's still
Spreading his hands like in the Titanic.
Spreading his hands like in the Titanic, and he just falls off. And there's my guy goes, "Jeez, that guy was insane." He looks over the edge, and the guy flies back up, lands on the edge of the Empire State Building. He says, "Ta-da! Why don't you give it a try?" And then the Irishman's like, "All right." So he takes a second. And he's like, "Okay, just like jumping into a swimming pool, you know." And he's kind of timid. He leaps down. He's falling through the air. He's waiting for the updraft, waiting for the updraft. Splat, he's dead. Million pieces, blood all over the pavement. The janitor of the Empire State Building comes in and is like, "For fuck's sake, Superman, you did it again!" That's the Superman I want to see.
That's
To be
Mr.
honest,
McPixdelictic.
We brought him back in the comics recently, and it's great.
In some of the earlier comics, Superman was a dick.
Oh, yeah.
That's Silver Age Superman. We don't talk about him. I love Superman because Golden Age Superman is the best guy. He is one of my favorite characters. But Silver Age Superman, just a dick. Because you can see it in all the like random covers. Like there'll be one where he's in the middle of the desert and Jimmy Olsen and Aquaman they're dehydrated and they're about to die from lack of water, and he's just got a cool glass of water, or he won't let them next to the tap.
But then it turns out that the cover was just misleading you to what was actually in the story.
It was a test to see their friendship.
Exactly, which isn't dickish at all.
Also, my favorite thing about the Silver Age of comics was a comic would sell 18% higher if it had a gorilla on the cover.
Everybody wants some gorillas. That's why you've got ultra humanized Gorilla Grodd, Monsieur Mala.
We've already talked about the amount of gorillas there was there the other week.
Detective Chimp. You got all the good guys. You got what's his face, the leader of Gorilla City, the white gorilla.
Solomon.
Zolivar.
Is he an actual character in the comics?
Yeah. Solivar. You got Solivar's son, Caesar, probably.
They all did on the Flash.
Got Savitar.
Got
him speed and gorillas.
I am Savitar, God of Speed and Gorillas.
Oh my god.
No, that scene where he's beating up Jay Garrick would have been a lot less cringy if Jay Garrick was a CGI gorilla instead of a CGI old man.
Picture this. It's episode 22 of Flash season 3. They're fighting it out. Barry gets him with the super speed punch, knocks his helmet off, and it's just a gorilla head under the armor the whole time.
I see. Because Savitar was originally a Maori man, you're trying to make some kind of comment on Maori people, are you?
Actually, Savitar was a white man from the Midwest who discovered the powers of Savitar.
Oh shit! No, I'm thinking of Hive from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You got wrecked.
Hey guys, let's go back to Justice League.
Let's go back to Justice League.
Why can't we go back to Kingsman?
We're doing a Kingsman episode when Kingsman 2, the Golden Circle comes out.
Why can we never talk about Kingsman,
I
man?
finally saw Kingsman.
It's so good, right?
So amazing.
The church scene.
I mean, the special effects are really bad, but it's still so good.
Alright, everybody just do like a
I'll
solo.
give her that.
Yeah, that's fair. But the church scene, though.
Oh my god.
They made me want to join the Westboro Baptist Church.
So that Colin Firth could kill you.
If I could see that man's face for just 1 second in real life, even if he was strangling me or breaking my neck,
Or is it?
I would die happy.
So you're saying if Colin Firth came into your house...
No, we're not doing that joke today. We're not doing that joke today. We have to give it a break.
Mother's Day is tomorrow, John. It's topical. If anything.
If I could get Colin Firth, if Colin Firth could pay me to be able to, for me to allow him to come to my house
and beat your mother,
beat my mother to death.
You would, right?
I would.
Okay, we've never said beaten mother to death.
Yeah, Jesus,
Damn, you're taking it too far.
I like to escalate things.
We've never crossed that line, you monster.
You know,
Right,
he would cross
so-
that line. Lemony Snicket because he's a dickhead. Now back to Justice
Can
League.
we have one episode, please, where you just leave Lemony Snicket alone?
Never. I refuse.
One time.
Alright, speaking of people being beaten to death, we also get another reference to the story DC aren't ever going to tell us about that dead Robin, but they're teasing every time.
Yeah.
It's good to see you're not working alone again. I'm like, just...
Yeah,
It's good to see your friends aren't getting beaten to death with crowbars again.
Do you really? Do you know what I really want to see? I really want to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the onesie being killed by Jared Leto. That's what I want to see.
I don't think I want to see Jared Leto ever again.
Well, me neither. Real rapey, that guy.
Just standing over like, can you imagine like that line with Jared Leto's delivery? Like, what works better for you, front hand or backhand?
Okay, well, I know how you fix Suicide Squad Joker. You cut in a 3-second shot at the start of Heath Ledger's Joker. You use CGI, like the Tarkin CGI from Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
Heath Ledger's Joker just taking a Viagra pill.
It's a bottle of Viagra.
He's just a really horny dude. He's just horny Joker. That's his take. Or Kamala's psychopath. Bloody John DiMaggio is kind of weird and primal. And then Jared Leto is just horny Joker.
He's sex creep Joker.
Yeah.
Which again,
I realized I did the touchy-feely thing as the Justice League trailer was happening.
every Joker puts a different spin on the character, and we'd never really got rapey Joker.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Joker must.
We've
I
had
don't know, Killing Joke came out like 2 weeks before Suicide Squad. We got a very rapey Joker.
We've had sexually aggressive, but we've never had proper rapey Joker.
Well, there is that in Arkham Asylum, Joker like sexually harasses Batman by just giving him a firm like squeeze of the ass.
And yeah,
Batman reacts terribly.
not the game.
No,
That's like Grant Morrison, isn't it?
I know someone is going, how did I miss that part in the boss fight? With the massive claw hand. That's why Batman freaks out, because he just has a massive bone claw.
If you miss pressing Y, just big bone hand in the
That's
ass.
the thing. Like, it actually humanized.
Showtime, Batman!
In the comic book, and I really love the comic book, in Arkham Asylum, the comic,
By Grant Morrison.
they actually humanize Batman by sexually objectifying him.
Yeah.
Like Joker like squeezes his ass, and he reacts. He's like creeped out, embarrassed, humiliated, and angry all at the same time. And he's like,
Slightly
"Why
turned
would you do
on."
that?" No, and it's like he's really uncomfortable with this
Yeah, they make him like
homoerotic thing.
They made him a homophobe with an Oedipus complex, and I really like that. And they make the Joker just a face with hands, and it's really... And he doesn't have speech bubbles, his voice just appears around the page. It's really weird.
Grant Morrison is a spectacular writer. I picked up his book last week, Super Gauze, Our Age of Heroes.
Yeah.
Spectacular. I'm like 40 pages in. Holy shit. He goes through the whole timeline of comics, movies, games, all the adaptations. Spectacular. It's also an autobiography at the same time. And he talks about the fact that when he was a young boy in Scotland, he was right...
When he was a wee laddie.
No, wee laddie.
Along the Highlands
Back in the 60s,
of Scotland.
He lived 3 miles away from where they were keeping the nuclear warheads and the submarines. Mm-hmm. And he talks about how comics got him over that. How the idea that these nukes were originally just an idea in somebody's
These
head.
nukes were made for walking.
And how Superman was also just an idea in somebody's head. And Superman's a stronger idea. I'm like, yeah, but if the nukes hit... you're not going to hold up Action Comics and stop the nukes. But it is a very good book. If anybody gets a chance to read it,
we need to write an angry letter to Grant Morrison. You're a stupid child!
He's a Scottish man, John. He'll beat the he's like 70 and he'll still beat the shit out of us.
Wow, you're just assuming that all Scottish men are aggressive.
Okay, well, me and Jonathan...
You've just
have
offended
about 5
Scotland.
minutes.
Great.
So, if I can quickly get my quick pitch for Defenders.
Alright.
And then me, please.
The only thing they have to achieve... I got 2 minutes, so you can get the other 2 minutes. Cool. The only thing they have to achieve with Defenders, it's a simple thing. They just have to get it right, and then everything will fall into place. They just have to bring back Zebediah Kilgrave. And it's funny, because they never reference
Kevin Thompson.
Kevin Thompson, because they never call him Zebediah.
Because his name isn't Zebediah Kilgrave in this version, it's just he took the name Kilgrave.
Well, on the script, his lines were titled Zebediah, and his changing room had Zeb K on it.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact. Anyway, all they got to do is bring him back, because if we've seen, for kind of spoilers for Iron Fist, someone gets brought back.
Well, that also happened in Daredevil, though.
Yeah.
Nobu resurrects twice, 3 times.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do to
And the
Electro.
people's spirit comes back to life in Luke Cage.
So, but if they're not willing to do that, Kilgrave.
I
I have a simple solution. And I've never talked this on the podcast before. I've pitched it to literally all of these guys at one stage or another.
He never shuts up about it.
Yeah,
He just keeps going on about
it's 2 words.
He cares more about this pitch than his girlfriend.
2 words. Flexi neck.
Flexi neck Kilgrave.
Flexi neck. Because think about it. Little boy Kevin spent all his life getting the fluid extractions from his spinal cord. What if, through comic book science, it just removed enough fluid so that his spine was no longer rigid?
The power of pseudoscience.
So breaking his neck would have no effect because he has a flexi neck.
Or just make it so the hand resurrects him.
Or, option number 3, he's paralyzed. He's paralyzed from the neck down. He's just in a wheelchair, but he's still effective because he doesn't have to do anything. He's never had to do anything. He makes other people do stuff. So, 3 ways to bring Kilgrave back. The hand, flexi neck, personal favourite.
Or
and
Stephen
the wheelchair. Or Stephen Hawking, I guess. But I was going to go about it in a non-offensive way, but I think
maybe just like God.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry, that's a little retro.
We've offended Stephen Hawking
Because if
again.
he could convince Daredevil from long range to start attacking the other defenders, which would be...
smell and hear from miles away.
Because Daredevil can smell and hear from miles away, which would increase Kilgrave's range on him, because he could say something in another room or in another building.
2 floors away.
2 floors away, and Daredevil will hear it and start freaking out, and no one will be able to know why. Also, it would make for the best, if they did it right, the best fight scene TV has ever shown.
A fight scene that all 3 of us, me, Jack, and Daniel, wrote one day while we were talking.
And we will get to that someday. But
Someday we will just
that's
detail
about 2 minutes. John, take it away.
Okay, so first of all, just real quick, for Iron Fist, things I would have done different. Much less exposition about Lake Kunlun. Sorry, Kunlun. Lake is the guy. Much less talking about Kunlun, but much more flashbacks to Kunlun. Show us more of Kunlun life, show us more of the training, show us more of them just monks just beating the shit out of that child.
And less of Danny saying, oh, when I was a boy I had that friend and we used to climb that tower. Just show us that.
Show us that.
Let's see him getting drunk.
Let him mention it in passing. But yeah, exactly. Just show him and Davos as kids. Yeah. Also, I thought it was funny that Loris Tyrell's best friend was called Davos, but anyway.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Thank you for that.
Both of them are characters in Game of Thrones. Anyway, Finn Jones plays Loris Tyrell. Anyway, like show us, like make it progressively worse. So start off, he's first taken into Kunlun, he's told, you are a child touched by fire, you will be our greatest warrior.
From the heavens to us.
Yes, exactly. So and then you progressively go into, as the storyline starts delving more into the conflict between like the chaste, the hand, and Kunlun, start going more into like, you're a weapon, weapons aren't supposed to feel emotion. That's when you show us the shot of him shaved bald being beaten by monks to teach him not to show pain. That's when you start going into the really dark shit. And by the time you reach the point where it's like, oh shit, the people in Kunlun are awful and Lei Kung was an abusive father, by that point, you're that's when you reveal, spoiler alert, that someone is in the hand, and you do that whole...
Reveal it, it's been 2 weeks.
Colleen's in the hand. Colleen turns out to be in a branch of the hand. And when
it's not the nail, sadly.
When you start...
Or the foot. Let's not rule the foot out. The shredder may turn up.
When you start to get really...
She's genuinely... There's a brand of the hand that's all female, and it's called Nail.
And Colleen leads it, doesn't she?
Colleen, at Daredevil's request,
There's the part of the hand that you want to nail, am I right?
Why don't they call it the wing?
But by the time you've gotten into that point where it's like it's unclear who the good guy or the bad guy is in that conflict, you've seen Danny's always talking about it like it was necessary for me to become the Iron Fist, but you show him like never being shown any
it's almost like a Stockholm syndrome thing. It's like, yeah, that's just the way he was raised.
So when Colleen levels that thing at him, you've been indoctrinated by old men since you were a child. When you say that, give it more impact by showing him being tortured and abused since he was 10. Like you wouldn't even be making any or adding anything because we've already seen that. Mm-hmm. We've already seen how Lei Kung was a terrible, terrible father to Danny. Yeah. But if you showed us more of that and talked less about it, then by that time it would be more impactful. And also for my defenders, in the similar vein to what Dan was talking about, the two main things you need to do in the defenders that they need to do in defenders, they need to legitimize Jessica and Daredevil as members of the group, and they have ways to do that because Iron Fist and Luke Cage, they're the heroes for hire. They're already superheroes.
That's actually going to be my pitch for Luke Cage, for Iron Fist when we get around to it.
But they've already been legitimized. They don't need it anymore. But Daredevil doesn't have any superpowers. They need to legitimize him as like a genuine threat, which is the thing we were talking about before, which we will go into someday. And Jessica, she's real good at hitting stuff, but she isn't good at fighting.
But John, they're all real good at hitting stuff.
They're so good at punching shit.
But Jessica Jones has the distinction that she doesn't give a fuck who she punches. Everybody else has a moral standard.
She's the only one who doesn't care about killing.
She'll punch a child.
She can hit women. That's her superpower.
Other women. She has the power of Chris Brown.
She's going to Hank Pym the hell out of him.
So we'll go into another day how you legitimize Daredevil, but as to how you legitimize Jessica Jones, apart from her super strength and her slowly falling off buildings power, which could become flight someday if she ever really trained into it. I'm not making that up. That's in Jessica Jones. You need to legitimize Jessica in some other way because she's the only one out of all of them that has no interest in being a superhero.
All right, well, John, we're gonna have to cut you off here because you're out of time.
Oh God, no! Please, where are you taking me?
You and Danny Moore are going to have to leave. Thank you for both coming on the podcast. Dan, hopefully the audience love you and we'll bring you back on soon.
God, remember me!
Goodbye. I'm going to get the door because those guys didn't close the door.
Yeah,
what a bunch of dicks.
Dicks.
Rude.
Dicks.
Bunch of dicks.
And now Jack is left with the boat feet. Oh, Jesus, no. Why did they leave Jack with...
Locked room of women.
You left the door open, you dingus.
Ah, fuck. I got one door. One out of two.
Splintered my nail.
Oh God, we're not becoming that podcast.
Oh no!
Alright, so back to Iron Fist. Ladies, which one of you wants to pitch your version of Iron Fist, or do you just want to talk about what's wrong with Iron Fist first?
I think we should talk about what's wrong and then pitch.
Alright, Rhiannon, tell me what you think is wrong with Iron Fist.
They tried to do way too much. It just had 5 storylines going at once.
It's weird. 1 second, you guys keep talking. You keep complaining about Iron Fist. We've got time.
Well, they just tried to do too much. They had 5 storylines going at once. I mean, you have it just was all over the place, really, because you've Iron Fist who comes back and he's just like, I'm Danny Rand. So we go on for about 5 episodes of him trying to convince everyone he's Danny Rand.
That goes on for 5 episodes.
It's something like that. It's ridiculous. It's just Yeah, but Ophelia hasn't watched all of it yet. But
I've only seen 2 episodes, and I'm pretty much bored already. Sorry, I'll give it another try. But.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, I'm Danny Rand, and then they introduce stuff about the hand selling heroin. You're like, oh, okay, fair enough. But then Joy and Ward, they have family issues. Ward has drug issues. They have daddy issues, you know? So many issues. And then there's another faction of the Hand that is not the heroin Hand, but is just recruiting kids to be ninjas. Which I wouldn't mind. I'd like to be a ninja, you know? That would be pretty cool. I was just explaining all the plots that there was going at the same time.
It's weird how there's so many plots, yet it feels like nothing is happening for a good 45% of the show.
It's just confusing. And then, of course, you have, Iron Fist, Colleen love relationship, and then Iron Fist deciding
What's her name? What's the friend's name? Not the friend, sorry. The sister of one of the villains' daughter.
Joy.
Why is she in the show? If she's not the love interest, and she doesn't do anything.
She's just the pretty female.
The bait for Harold, really. That's all I can really think of.
Because when she came in, I'm like, oh, they'll set her up as like a love interest or reveal her to be a bad guy. But they do that with Colleen, so there's no reason for her to be there. That really.
Didn't she try to kill him or have him killed or something?
She tries something like that at some point, but I honestly cannot remember properly. So there is so much to slog through in this show. But the Netflix shows, I love the Netflix shows.
I love Netflix shows.
Daredevil Season 2 is my jam.
Wah.
I love it.
Love it.
But
Jessica Jones being my personal favorite.
They've never felt like a chore. They've never felt like, I've got to sit down and watch this.
But
this time, to try and get it done for this podcast, normally I'll get them done in 3 days. It felt so hard getting through all these. Right? I'm sitting there like, fuck, just get to the fighting.
I had watched the first 8 episodes last weekend, and between being busy and all, I didn't get a chance, and I had to binge the 5 of them at 10 o'clock last night.
Holy crap.
I was like, I was dying.
I think I did 3 episodes a day. I did 3 on the day it came out, 3 the day after, 3 the day after that, and since it was a long weekend, 3 on the Monday again.
Yeah.
2 on the Monday. Well, adding up to your 11 episodes. God, what do you think of the show overall? What would you give it out of a 10?
I like it more than Luke Cage,
I think Luke Cage is a better put together show, though. Like, the dialogue works, visually,
they both have pros and cons,
the action works. The villains are terrible in both. Like, genuinely, neither one.
Yeah, it's like they don't know who their villain is. That's the thing. Who is their villain? Is it especially in Iron Fist? Is it Madame Gao? Is it fucking what's his face? Can't remember his name. Other Hand guy.
Actually, one of the things about the Marvel shows and movies, they're always regarded that Marvel have weak villains, right? There's no good villains apart from Loki. Yeah. And in the Netflix stuff, they have amazing villains, but they have too many amazing villains. You could do a whole season about Madame Gao. You could do a whole season about Steel Serpent.
Yeah.
You could do a whole season about Kilgrave. You can do a whole season about...
They did a whole
Cottonmouth.
season.
Not Cottonmouth. Is it Cottonmouth? Cottonmouth.
Yeah, Cottonmouth.
Do a whole season about Cottonmouth. But they try and squeeze 2 or 3 villains in a season. I'm like, no, take your time.
Stop it.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Even Daredevil Season 2, which is kind of badly pasted in 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You could have had 2 seasons there, no problem. Could have been 8 episodes each, 2 seasons, no problem.
Yeah.
Overall, where would you rank this in the Netflix shows?
In the Netflix shows, it'll definitely go Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage.
I think it goes Daredevil Season 2, Jessica Jones, Daredevil Season 1, Luke Cage, this. I give this a 4 out of 10. There's some good stuff in there. But
I feel so out of place because I haven't watched any of the Marvel shows. No, I know the DC shows, but I don't know the Marvel shows.
Actually, speaking of the DC shows, we're going to get sidetracked here for a second. There's something I really want to talk about. Did you see the musical episode yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh
okay, I haven't seen
Back
it
to
yet.
the theory about me loving musicals.
My friend who doesn't normally watch the DC shows sent me a message telling me about the musical episode.
So I'm not the only one who's like,
do you know what I'll do?
I had to turn around.
Binge everything. I'll binge everything when it comes to
we haven't set a theme for next week, so we'll figure something out. The musical episode. So basically, on Supergirl, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background. On Supergirl, they set up 4th-dimensional beings with Mr. Mixaspitapitalik. Oh, I got that right.
Did they put him in?
They did.
Oh shit!
And they did him well.
Oh, good.
I'm not a Supergirl fan, but they did him well apparently. Anyway, 4th-dimensional
fanboy shit.
Unless it's Superman. You're wearing a Superman shirt. I don't care. Anyway, Supergirl sets up that. And then at the very end of the last episode, this guy appears and just puts her to sleep like that. Like, click of the fingers, she drops onto the floor unconscious. She's out cold. So they bring her to the Flash's universe because the guy mentions the Flash because they can this universe jump for God knows why not.
Yay!
They come to the Flash's world and the Flash is like, it's fine, I'll take him on. He clicks his fingers, Flash goes unconscious as well. And they wake up and he's like, what's going on? Where are we? and they're in a musical. Like, they're in a 50s. She's singing, like, Moon River, I think is the intro to it.
Oh, God.
It's so good. They don't have their powers. They're not Barry Allen and Cara Zor-El. They're just, like, they're like Bonnie and Clyde, the two normal people in, like, the 60s. And the whole time, it's all projected inside their minds, while everybody outside are trying to hunt down. And it's revealed the villain is the music maestro. The music maestro. Who in this version is a fourth-dimensional being like Mr. Mix-Up-Spiddle-Piddlix. And his whole thing is, because he's from outside their dimension, he's a viewer, he's a watcher, he's a fan like we are, and he's trying to teach them a lesson about love. It's the best thing ever. They sing about their feelings, they have a good time, and the very end, they come out of the musical. And in the Flash, he sees his girlfriend die in the future, so he wanted to marry her because in that future she wasn't married. So he thought, if I can marry her, change the future, then maybe I can change a whole load of things to save her. They realized that was for the wrong reasons, so they're not married. In this episode, he proposes again, but this time in song, and it's amazing, because Grant Gustin goes for like just 3 minutes straight to singing with the ring in his hand. I'm nearly in tears watching this scene. It is maybe the best episode of that show all season. Everybody should watch this episode. It's called The Duet, I think. Just go watch it now. It is spectacular. Alright, time back to Iron Fist, because that was sidetracked. Pitch me your new version of Iron Fist. What would your
new version of Iron Fist?
If Marvel came to you, if Mike Eisner from Marvel came to you and he's like, hey, I need you to pitch me an Iron Fist.
Pitch me an Iron Fist.
Also, those critics aren't getting 2 sodas. What am I, made of money? Yes, Mr. Eisner, you're made of money. I'm not made of money. Sorry, I love mocking Mike Eisner because he's a cheap piece of crap, and I'm happy they kicked him out of Marvel. He was the guy who used to work above Kevin Feige, and now he's gone. Okay, I'll try and edit that out. Somebody came in and interrupted us. It's fine. We're being...
Whoa, shutters.
Yeah, they're putting shutters down next door. We're fine. Hopefully we get over that audio. Pitch us your new version of Iron Fist.
Well, we won't spend 5 episodes trying to figure out who the fuck Danny Rand is.
Alright, go from the start. Very start. What's the plot?
Right. Shit. I had this all sorted out earlier.
Alright, you're fine. Ophelia, what's your pitch for Iron Fist?
Make it less boring.
That's all. She hasn't seen all of it yet.
I know, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just kidding with you.
No. Like, with Iron Fist, you open up, like, pretty much, like, with the first episode, he turns up and he's just like, hey, I'm Danny Rand, you know? But you don't spend as long trying to figure out who he is. Like, do a DNA test. Like, we have some of Wendell Rand's DNA. Whoop! You know what? He's his son. Give him his shares. Yay! You know?
Okay. It's all in New York, I'm guessing.
Yeah, all in New York, you know? Where did I go after that?
Who's the villain in your version? I've got a whole pitch. Mine's going to be like a 20-minute pitch. Try and stall because we need the time in the podcast.
Well, I was like saying, you introduce Madame Gao first. You leave her the villain. You don't try and chuck her out the window. As I said, you can introduce Harold. You can introduce her, but don't kill him off at the end of the season. Have him for next season. You know? Yes, he dies.
Yeah, but he has the ability to come back from the dead. Remember, he mentions the whole, I had cancer and they offered me a way to come... That's not... I had cancer and they offered me a way to come back from the dead.
Ward kills him, he comes back. But, so, oh shit, he can come back. So you leave them with that knowledge at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then he'll be the villain for me for season 2.
Even put him in one of those bloodbath things like Elektra.
Yeah, stick him in one of the Elektra caskets.
Tie into Dan and John's thing, where it's Elektra, him, and Kilgrave all being resurrected. That would be an awesome shot.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So you have Madame Gao, and she's selling their heroin and whatever, and he's there running around trying to get information. You might be a few episodes in with
shouting Iron Fist.
Iron Fist, yeah, much more Iron Fist action.
So much more fisting.
So much.
I want an awful lot of fisting, like a comedic amount of fisting.
So
I want men being fisted. I want women being fisted. I want children being fisted. Weapons, guns, everything should be fisted. Sorry, continue.
No. So like,
and then you agreed with me at the start. Like, fist everything. Wait a minute. I want so many things to get fisted that it's like an episode of Sesame Street. Right up there. All right, go on. I've just destroyed Sesame Street. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
You know how I insult an awful lot of people on the podcast and I don't feel bad about it? I feel bad about that one.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Elmo and Big Bird and Snuffleupagus. Yes. Go on. And Jim Henson's ghost.
Sorry. Anyway, so you see him running around, and he gets Colleen to help him, whatever, So he's fighting. He's getting close. He walks into a room, sees man go, who steps out? fucking Steel Serpent. You know? And you have like a fucking like showdown between the two of them.
Alright, question time. Does he wear the costume in your version, or is he just like the angsty hippie like he is in this one? With like the beard, and he's rolled out of a Starbucks, and he's like, let me tell you about this great recipe I heard from Buddha. Hey, what is happening, Unproductive Nerd audience? I know I mentioned earlier before the intro that this is a bit of a patchwork episode. I Frankensteined it back together from bits here and there because people had to leave and we got kicked out of where we were recording. So if there's a bit of a jarring cut, I'm sorry, but we didn't want to leave it at a 40-minute episode. So we're going to finish the episode over Skype. But because of that, we were able to get John back. Now, Rhiannon, where were you with your...
Yeah!
You were talking about the costume, if you would have a costume or not.
We were talking about the costume. We saw how well putting them in actual costumes went for Luke Cage.
It worked for Daredevil.
Yeah, it worked for Daredevil.
It works for Daredevil.
And
but even then, Daredevil's one is a bit outdated, you know?
The reason it didn't work in Luke Cage was because in Luke Cage they were doing Ultimate Luke Cage, and Ultimate Luke Cage's costume is a black shirt. So they were doing the original Power Man outfit. It just felt out of place.
Or they could have done what they do in the normal Marvel universe, which is jeans and a yellow T-shirt, which would have been fine. He wears that in Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
I would love to see him just walk around in yellow shirts the whole time.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect. So that's a no on the costume for Iron Fist.
Well, you wear something very reminiscent. I feel like, they could be wearing something reminiscent of it, like the same way they did the robes, they were yellow and green, but...
I don't think that works, but...
No kind of head scarf thing, I don't know.
From what little we saw of the 1940s Iron Fist in the flashback, in the archive footage of the 1940s Iron Fist, he was wearing the proper costume with the headband and everything.
Which was awesome, by the way. That looked... That... 20, 30 second shot. It might be my favorite part of the whole show. Seeing that older Iron Fist take out the Chinese soldiers might be the best part of the show, I'll be honest. So, John, do you want any more to add to your pitch before I hop into mine, or will we just jump into it? Because I know you give a short pitch, but that was when you were on your way out.
I think I was just talking about how you need to legitimize Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and I was just basically posed the question of how could you legitimize Jessica Jones as a member of the Defenders?
Okay, yeah. Well, I get into my pitch for Iron Fist then.
Sure.
Okay, no complaints here. My version of Iron Fist, straight away off the bat, one major difference, because I have a lot of major differences, but this is going to be the big one, does not take place in Hell's Kitchen. Any flashbacks we have to Danny and his parents, that can be in Hell's Kitchen in New York. But I think the whole thing should take place in Shanghai. We get out of New York, we get away from there for a while, and we have it... Shanghai is in China, isn't it? Just for reference.
Mm-hmm.
And we have it, that's where the Hand is based. They're based out of Shanghai. And basically, the setup is... You remember in Iron Fist, they talk about how they were setting up another base in... What was the city they were setting it up? The Rand Industries were building another building.
Hong Kong?
I think it was Hong Kong, but for the sake of this, it'll be Shanghai. Rand Industries...
I think it was somewhere else. Some China place, but some random China city. You know what? Continue. Never mind.
Alright, basically...
I'm gonna shut the fuck up now.
Same thing. They're setting up this building in Shanghai. And Danny Rand... He comes down from the mountainside. He's like Bruce Wayne coming back from the monastery in Batman Begins. But he's conflicted on whether or not he should reveal himself to the world. Because the world thinks Danny Rand is dead. But then he finds out there is corruption within Rand Industries. And the Hand are up to no good. There's conflict across the city with the Hand. But there's word of a new vigilante who's just been attacking the Hand in several different places. And the Hand is conflicted. There's several different groups leading the Hand. And they're all coming to arms against each other. So my series is basically that. There's a struggle for leadership within the Hand. Madame Gao has a faction. The guy we saw at the end of Daredevil Season 2 with all the scars on his back, he has a faction. That kind of thing. Even White Tiger could have a faction. Steel Serpent could have a faction.
The guy from Daredevil was Stick, and Stick isn't a member of the Hand, he's a member of the Chaste.
Not Stick. Well, you can have the Chaste in there as well, but you remember they cut to Madame Gao talking to a guy, and he has all scars on his back, and he's like this big guy with long flowing hair. I can't remember his name, but...
No, I know the bit you're talking about. That's the bit where Stick is talking to That's the bit where Stick is talking to Stone.
That's it. It might be Stone. Anyway,
Stone is a member of the choice.
My pitch for this season is a Mortal Kombat-esque tournament, and the winning group gets to lead the hand as one faction. So whoever wins this tournament is the leader of the hand from here on in. And Danny Rand has to enter said tournament against 10 or 12 of the world's greatest fighters. They're the richest and most powerful fighters. Rand Industries have entered the Steel Serpent. And there's another competitor from New York, but we don't know who he is. Stick himself has entered this fighting tournament. So we get White Tiger. We get a woman dressed in all red coming from the hand, but we don't know who she is. Eventually in the season finale, we reveal that that's Elektra. And basically, my whole season is Mortal Kombat. It's just, there's a round every episode, and it is Mortal Kombat. And we are left with 6 competitors. And those 6 competitors are revealed to be an undead Elektra, Stick, Danny Rand. And because Rand Industries are opening up this big building, Danny Rand has to keep his identity a secret, because the world thinks Danny Rand is dead. That is why he wears the bandana kind of thing, the yellow mask. That's the reason I was going to give for that. That's why he needs a secret identity, because he is the Iron Fist. He needs to hide that. Nobody has to know he's Danny Rand. Who's the guy from Marvel Comics who's all about kung fu? I had his name written down and I cannot remember it.
Oh shit.
Oh god, this is gonna annoy me. Give me
Master Kong?
It's like Che Kong, the Master of Kung Fu or something. Or give me a second, let me just Google it. Because this is gonna be a big plot point. Steel Serpent is in there. Anyway, there's one other competitor.
Master Can as well. Throw in a couple of the other Iron Fist villains.
Yeah, you can throw in as many Iron Fist villains as you want. But there's also, they keep sending this guy from New York, and we don't know who he is. And he's always caged up like a feral beast. And there's jokes like, they put in the unbreakable fighter, we cannot defeat him. And it's revealed that it is Luke Cage. He is one of the fighters, the unbreakable man. And you're like, what? What's going on here? Why is Luke Cage in the fight? Turns out somebody from New York is paying to have Luke Cage fight in the tournament for him. And guess who that person is? Any guesses?
We're just listening, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm actually hoping for some feedback here. It's Wilson Fisk. The reveal is, in the very end, it's Wilson Fisk. And from the end of Luke Cage, he's in prison. Wilson Fisk breaks him out of prison. He takes Night Nurse hostage, and that's how we force Night Nurse into the show. Because you need to force Night Nurse into the show somehow.
Night Nurse has to be there.
She has to be there. So, the final round is a 4-way fight. And it's between the Steel Serpent, the Iron Fist, Luke Cage the Unbreakable Man, and the Woman in Red. The Woman in Red being revealed to be Elektra, obviously. They're fighting they're fighting it out in the ring. It's a big ass fight. Who knows who's gonna win? And then it's revealed Danny Rand and Luke Cage, after they fight for about 4 minutes. It's an all-out brawl. It's one of the best action sequences in the whole show. It's revealed that Luke Cage and Danny Rand are on the same side. Turns out they're after breaking Claire Temple out already, and the two of them team up to take down Elektra. And Luke Cage just surrenders, leaving only leaving Danny Rand to fight the Steel Serpent, and Danny Rand loses. And the season, you're like, what? Danny Rand's not going to lead the hand? Nope, Danny Rand loses. He gets his ass kicked. And you know how in Iron Fist comics, there's the idea of the immortal weapons. How we always have this thing that Danny Rand is a weapon.
Poltergeist the Madam of the Spiders, she was an immortal weapon in the comics.
Well, basically, Danny Rand has the upper hand. You think he's going to win. You see him talking to the dragon in a flashback. He's about to deliver the winning Iron Fist. And then, out of nowhere, we reveal Steel Serpent can also do one of these moves. He counters Danny and beats him. And now, because Luke Cage has lost and Danny Rand has lost, Stick has lost, Steel Serpent is now the leader of all factions of the Hand. And he is bringing the fight to New York. That is his next target, with their big heroin dealership, their undead zombies, We reveal the small faction of the Hand that we saw in Daredevil is nothing compared to the army they're shipping overboard. We find out that Wilson Fisk was doing this so he could disband the Hand before they could come and attack his city. And the very end is Stick talking to Fisk and being like, oh yeah, you lost this tournament, now what? He turns with pictures of Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage, and it's going to be super cheesy, but he says, I guess I can't be this city's only defender. But-a-bum. That's how it ends. Super cheesy.
If we can't avenge this city, you'll be damn sure we'll defend it.
That is how I do Iron Fist. It's Mortal Kombat / Enter the Dragon, it's all in Shanghai, and the next season, the Defenders has Luke Cage and Iron Fist coming back to New York to team up with Jessica Jones and Daredevil. That is set up, it's a good season, that's all I want. Enter the Dragon / Mortal Kombat. That is my pitch for Iron Fist. Holy crap. Thoughts? Questions? Go ahead.
I like it. Wow, that's good. I would have really enjoyed it if it was that. Wow. Just every time they fight Mortal Kombat.
Admit it. You want to see the more mystic members of the Marvel Universe doing, like, fatalities? It would be, like, Bride of the Nine Spiders would be an amazing finishing move.
Yeah, like, do a more traditional version of her where it's actually an immortal weapon.
Yeah, that'd be insane. It would...
Yeah.
It would be a much better season, basically.
Yeah. Because there's an immortal weapon for each city of heaven, isn't there?
Exactly. How many cities of heaven is there?
And there's 9 cities of heaven, isn't there?
9? 7.
There's a certain amount of cities of heaven.
I think it's 7.
I think it's 7 as well, but that just could be wrong. Anyway, yeah, that's my Iron Fist pitch. No, nothing too complex, nothing too insane. That's all I want.
Nice.
I'm done. That's it. That's all I wanted to get out of my system. Feels good to get off my chest.
Then again, is it an Iron Fist story?
Yes.
You know, because like the other characters, but
You see, we see the whole tournament from Iron Fist's perspective. Even when he meets Luke Cage for the first time, he thinks he's just this big savage black guy who's invulnerable. We, as the audience,
you
know...
think, like, because he's been raised by, like, monks in Asia, he's just super racist.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. The idea is that the first time he has seen a black guy since he's 8 years old is when he meets Luke Cage. What if... I know the topic of this episode is non-racism, but what if that's what he thinks black people are like now? He thinks they're just all invulnerable.
God, I'm pretty sure, you know...
I don't understand. I keep hearing these stories of men being shot by the police, but now it seems that these men should be bulletproof. I don't understand.
You know how...
God.
You know how he never uses the Iron Fist to kill anybody? How great is it to imagine in Defenders, because he thinks black people are bulletproof, he's just willing to Iron Fist any black bad guys?
I apologize, we've gone into this.
This isn't... I'm not the racist on this. This is Danny Rand being a racist. Dirty racist Danny Rand.
Sure, the same as Hank Pym being a sexist.
Well, okay, we didn't invent that one.
Yeah, that's not on me either. And just saying, if it wasn't for Hank Pym being a sexist, how would Wolverine have won that Godzilla fight?
Oh my god.
Call back to an older episode, audience. Please watch that episode.
Yeah, you have to do your homework with this show.
Oh yeah, there's so many... We've only done, 5 episodes? Is this episode 5?
I think so.
This is episode 5, and we already have a shit ton of running jokes and callbacks to a point in which...
That you keep forcing in.
Yes, it's like Rick and Morty, how Rick always tries to force his own catchphrase in there. That's what I'm doing. Lick my balls. How good is Rick and Morty?
Ticky tacky bitch.
Oh fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay, I just thought of another episode
So-
we can do at some stage. We need to do an episode where we pitch Rick and Morty Season 3, because obviously Dan Harmon's not doing it, so we might as well pitch it.
They're drawing it.
I'm just saying, I'm an artist. If Dan Harmon wants to hire me, I'll get the season done in twice as fast. Get it done twice as fast, no problem. Well, sorry.
No, I'm just gonna.
You were going to say something. I keep cutting you off. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I was gonna say, what are your hopes for Defenders now? So,
They're not very high, if I'm honest. Because...
I don't think the Hand should be the villain of Defenders. I think we should take a while away from the Hand, because drug-dealing ninjas, we've had basically 3 seasons of television about them.
And the only thing is, as I said, way too much Hand. They're not very interesting.
Yeah.
They're kind of the worst villain in the Netflix stuff, which is saying something? Like...
Well, because they exist in the same universe as Diamondback.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. Diamondback is by far the worst villain in the Marvel Universe. Well, I haven't seen all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I might be wrong. There might be worst villains on that. But
there's not really any bad villains in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's just, normal, procedural TV show villains. And a few really good ones, like Daniel Whitehall, he was fairly good. Hive was kind of dumb, but...
Oh, I just thought of something. If we really wanted to tie it back in, and this is a stupid connection, but if we want to tie it back in, my Mortal Kombat style tournament... Who's, what's the name of the character Melissa May plays on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Melinda May.
Melinda May, sorry.
Yeah.
The character is called Melinda May.
Oh, is that the name of the character? I thought I fucked up the actress name. I think...
No, she's played by Ming-Na Wen.
Where did I get Melinda? Doesn't matter, I'm sorry, I fucked up names. I think we get the cavalry in there as one of the fighters. It's a stupid and a thin connection.
They're not allowed to.
But she's a
they're not allowed to crossovers between the Netflix shows and the cable shows.
Oh, that's bullshit.
why not?
A contractual thing, like really weird, mixed up copyrights.
It's also because Marvel, as much as they love a connected universe, they don't want to confuse the fans. So that's why when you go watch a Marvel movie, nobody's going to make a reference to Daredevil. Because, sure, there are fans in the audience who have seen Daredevil, but there's also a lot of fans who haven't and don't go on Netflix to watch the Netflix stuff. They just watch the movies. That's why you can't have Agent Coulson turn up in any of the movies without talking about how he came back and explaining all of that. Which is, 2 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? There's always going to be those fans who have missed something. Those who haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., those who haven't watched the Marvels, the Netflix stuff. But with Netflix, you can go the other way around, because you just kind of guess everybody's seen the movies. You can reference the big, incredible guy flying through the sky, like the Hulk, or the incident.
The event.
Yeah, you can talk about the incident.
But they keep talking about 5 years
We
later.
don't talk about the incident.
I mean, you gotta admit, if aliens attacked and then a superhero team came together to save us, we'd still be talking about it.
Well, we wouldn't want to refer to it explicitly because it's just too weird. So we just call it, the incident.
You guys remember that time a big hole opened in the sky and then a big green guy and a robot man saved us? You remember that guy with the
I love how they call it the incident, but, no one, Sokovia dropped out of the fucking sky.
But that happened in another country, and so we don't worry about it.
Plus,
we don't worry about it.
There was 300-400 people living in Sokovia at most. All right, that's a low ball.
Thousands. There's tens of thousands of people. Well, it's a huge city.
Yeah, but
a lot died.
Yeah, but there was about a helicarrier's worth of people, which
no, a helicarrier's worth of people got off, but a lot of people died.
I might have misinterpreted Age of Ultron. Maybe a lot more people than I remember.
Maybe you misinterpreted Civil War as well.
No, I got Civil War, but I thought a lot more people in Age of Ultron survived. Maybe they all just died. Maybe this couldn't show the brutal robot kills. One sec, I'm looking up how many people died in Sokovia. Because
but then again, it didn't lift the entire country. It just lifted the city.
I always thought the city was just the country. I always imagined it was a really tiny country. Alright,
No.
how many people died in Sokovia? Okay, I said that into Google and it responded with how many people died in circus accident.
Apparently 117 people died in Sokovia.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Sorry, 177.
Still, not that bad. Every time.
So from what we've been given, 74 people died in New York during the incident, which doesn't seem like nearly as many as who should have actually died.
How many died in 9/11, 2000?
When the helicarriers crashed into the Triskelion, 23 people died. During the Battle of Sokovia, 177 people died.
So about 400 people died in total. That is
250.
Alright.
Something.
Even at that.
How many people did Scarlet Witch kill that one time?
Oh yeah, a lot of people died in Century.
They were African.
Plus all the people killed when Bucky blew up the UN.
I was kidding there. That was a joke, guys.
Yeah.
I love how we just skipped over your casual racism as if it was nothing, even though the theme of this episode is no racism.
I was not going to respond to that, you know?
Yeah, I'm not touching that. Anyway,
to be honest, when you didn't comment on it, it just kind of made it seem like you were agreeing with me.
Okay, that's even worse. Anyway, back to what I was going to say about the number. Even if you highball all the people who were killed as a Hydra thing and killed in Sokovia, that comes to what, 300-400 at most? That's all the incidents, all that. Superman still killed more people than that in Man of Steel in the space of 15 minutes. Like, he dropped half a city on people. I think more people died in Wayne Tower than have died in the Marvel Universe.
My God.
Well, I bet loads of people have died. Just like, not because of, like, again, I guess people still die of, like, old age and stuff.
Are getting rid of natural causes and normal murders, I think Superman has still killed more than the Marvel Universe. We're off topic here,
Jack,
but we never stay on topic.
Jack, did you forget about battling Jack Murdoch?
No.
Don't ever.
I was about to say,
I'll never.
how many people do you think Daredevil has accidentally killed due to just severely crippling up?
Wait.
How many people do you think he's dropped off a rooftop?
That's like a lot of ninjas, a lot of dogs of hell, you know, a lot.
He's just pushing guys off rooftops, hoping there's a bin.
No, there's actually, I read an interview with the guy who plays Daredevil, and he said at one point, when he went to attack the Kitchen Irish stronghold to rescue Punisher, like he mentioned this, the actor, at the beginning he knocks out these two Kitchen Irish, and then they have the huge, like, the interrogation with Punisher, and then he escapes with Punisher in the big fight scene, and as they're leaving, those two guys are still knocked out. And if you get knocked out and you haven't woken up after half an hour, you're severely brain damaged. So those two guys probably died.
Or maybe
Exactly.
maybe they got some kind of superpower from it. Matt Murdock, when he lost his eyes, he became super powerful. Maybe by losing their brain function, they've got great muscles or like spectacular legs.
Jesus.
They become a superhero group called the Untouchables because everyone feels really weird about hitting them. Guys, I don't like this. Feels wrong. I don't think we should do this.
I mean, you gotta admit, if you're trying to take down the Avengers and you'd send in a team of supervillains who are all kind of paralyzed or like kind of fucked up,
Oh my God.
I don't think they're gonna fight back.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I don't want an answer to this. I'm just going to pose this as an open question and people can take it as what they will. What if you gave the Winter Soldier or Super Soldier serum to like a person with Down syndrome? And moving along.
I'm so sorry.
Jesus! Jack!
And moving along.
I'm not laughing at that, I'm laughing at how dark of a question that is. How did you...
It wasn't, we're moving along.
I'm just saying,
Oh my God.
I don't think Captain America would be willing to punch a man in a wheelchair. Even if he had, like, a knife.
thus the Untouchables.
Oh, that's how we get MODOK into the universe.
Wheelchair. Like, if there was a guy going around who was, like, shooting laser beams out of his eyes and burning down, like, the Capitol building, but he was in a wheelchair, or he had, like, cerebral palsy, no one would hit him.
That's why Superman didn't stop that bomb in Batman vs. Superman, because the guy was in a wheelchair. He didn't want to take his wheelchair. Yeah.
Exactly.
He's like, I can't do anything. He's in a wheelchair. Also, have you guys seen the extended cut of that movie? You haven't actually seen the movie, have you?
I haven't, no.
Well,
I've just
in that
refused
scene,
to watch it.
where the bomb in the wheelchair blows up, it kills a load of people, and you see people coming out running away, and Superman just kind of floats over everything and flies away real sad. Now, in the extended cut, you see him fly a few people out of the building, then fly away. But in the normal version, he doesn't. He just flies away. Which, I only realized this, I think Mr. Sunday Movies, or somebody brings it up. Superman could have carried all those people to the hospital in about 45 seconds? Like, before the burns kick in, he could have had them out of there, and just chose not to. Which,
Oh my god.
now that I think about it, maybe Batman was right in killing him.
Jesus. I'm just thinking, you know, at the end of Iron Fist, where Davros is like, I know how to defeat the Iron Fist. I think that, you know, I think he was getting on to like
Shoot him, hit him with a car. Push him from a.
No,
Push him from,
we
like,
call
a
him the
tall building.
Untouchable. It's like, what?
Oh, I've got it.
No.
This one, and his name is the Iron Foot, because he's missing every limb except one leg that he uses for kicking.
I think Avatar: The Legend of Korra beat you to that.
I do not remember that being a character. Is that...
There was a there was a waterbender who didn't have arms, so she used water to make like tentacles.
Oh, I remember her. She was in the Red Lotus, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, she was awesome. I love that character.
Yeah, she was really cool.
Yeah, the whole Red Lotus thing was amazing. Like, you had that one girl who was the daughter of Sparky Boom Man.
No, I don't think she was meant to be his daughter. She was just meant to be from the same tribe as him.
Same hair, same power. I took it as daughter, but you could be right. It could just be same tribe.
Yeah, her name was Plea.
Huh.
And she got her face exploded.
Oh yeah, then they wrap a helmet around. We've gotten really far from Iron Fist, by the way, but fuck, Legend of Korra is great.
It's still kind of
I love that season 3 finale where they're fighting the Red Lotus up on the big kind of mountain area that looks like Aang versus the Fire Lord. It was amazing.
Okay, so I just looked Plea up, and her official backstory is, after showing the ability to combustion bend during her youth, she was kidnapped by a warlord who trained her into becoming his personal assassin, and Zahir freed her a few years later.
Wow.
So, not Sparky Boom Man's daughter.
Yeah. That's sad, though, because Sparky Boom Man is one of the greatest characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes, he is, and he never says a single word, and we never learned his name.
And we don't need to in many... No, we do hear his name at one stage, but it's made a joke of, where Zuko calls him a name.
Zuko's about to say his name. His name isn't Combustion Man, his name is... and then he gets cut off.
Yeah. Also, how great are those episodes where they just team Zuko up with random characters? They're just amazing.
And they all learn something amazing about themselves.
Except Toph. Toph doesn't get an episode.
Yeah, Toph never got one.
Which is funny, because they also make a joke about that in the finale, where it's like, oh, finally, me and Zuko get to go on an adventure and learn a lesson. Nope. No time for that. Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. John,
So disappointed you didn't shout that at any point.
Yeah, if it helps.
Iron Fist! Yeah, so we never got them screaming about his dead parents.
My parents are dead!
I'm never going on a plane again!
I think they should have made Iron Fist a killer.
Oh, yeah. Well, in our version, he's killing every black guy when he's with the Defenders.
No.
But yeah, you're right, he should have been a killer.
Stop it!
Also,
like,
I know this...
I think it would
Go on, sorry, go.
I think it would have created more of a conflict in the Defenders if you had Luke Cage, who's like, you can't kill people, that's wrong. If you had Daredevil, who's like, I don't like killing people, but I'll do it when it's necessary. Jessica Jones is like, yeah, I think it's right to kill people who are, like, deserve to be killed. And then you just have Iron Fist, who is, I am the immortal weapon! I am the enemy of the hand! I shall kill all who stand in my way! And, like, they're about to break into a building, and Daredevil's, alright guys, we're going quiet, we're going quick, we won't have to hurt anyone. And Iron Fist is already in there, he's just punching people with the Iron Fist, blowing their heads off. He shouldn't have a problem with killing people. He is the immortal. That
series just needed more fighting.
Like, having him be like, I'm too weak, I can't kill someone. No, that is not what you do with Iron Fist. Iron Fist should be the guy who punches his entire hand through a guy's chest and, like, has him burst out the other side with, like, Superman with the Joker and Injustice.
Oh,
that's what
I want to see that. I want to see that more than anything. Also, and I'm hoping we get it in Defenders. If we don't get this into Defenders, I will be very sad and disappointed with that show. I want him to Iron Fist Luke Cage in the chest and see what happens. That's all I want.
You can even do sort of like, you know, that bit in Age of Ultron where they have this swanky party up in Avengers Tower. Have a Defenders version of that where it's just the four of them in like a dive bar. And they just have a drunken bet about, like, Danny, can you punch Luke through that wall? And Luke's like, nah, he can't do it. And then because he's drunk, he can only sort of channel his chi, so he gets like a half Iron Fist.
And then Jessica Jones picks up Luke Cage and just flings him at the wall. He's like, yeah, that's how you do it. That is...
that's how you fist some iron.
Ooh. Speaking of fists, anybody want to go back to my place? Alias Investigations, huh? Oh wait, no, I sold that place.
It's like, Jessica, go home, you drunk. I've only had like half a bottle of whiskey, shut up.
Yes, I've only had 3. Yes, Jessica, you've had 3 bottles of whiskey, go home. Also...
Jessica, you're drunk, I'm always drunk.
Jessica, you're sober, go home. Alright. Also, is it ever made apparent that, because I know in the comics, Daredevil hates certain smells, like he hates the smell of Doritos, for example. I love the idea he can smell Jessica's breath at all times, because it's just soaked in alcohol, and she's never brushing her teeth. So every time they're talking, Daredevil's got to take like 4 or 5 paces back, just because he's disgusted. It's a small but a hilarious idea. Also...
Oh my god.
I just realized, how far does Daredevil's hearing and smell stretch?
Well, he can hear people having a conversation like 5 city blocks away, so...
Do you think he has to hear...
No! He can't hear that far.
He doesn't seem to...
Well, yeah, he can sometimes. Like, you have that bit when he's on the rooftop just listening, and you can hear conversations from, like, all over the city around him.
Yeah, but that's when he's trying. Even when he's not trying, in Season 1 he talks about the fact that he didn't even try to hear, but he could hear a guy 3 apartments down molesting his daughter. Then
that was before, like,
that was back.
Well, after Stick trained him to control his senses, but that was when he was playing that game, like when he was a child, of just listening to the sirens. So that's when he was trying to listen. No. But they do make the point that his senses are so sensitive that he doesn't always have control over them, which is why, like, he has like Egyptian cotton sheets for his bed, and it feels like sandpaper when he's sleeping.
Actually, no, the one where he hears your man molest, that's the first time he ever does a Daredevil. That's,
That's after Stick has trained him to control his senses.
Yeah, he's talking to Foggy.
He's like, Daredevil, yeah.
I could hear it all the time, so one night I just dressed up, took the guy out to the shipyard, and beat the shit out of him. That's where he talks about there.
I watched the sequence yesterday. Sometimes I just like to go back and watch that episode just for that bit.
Oh, so good. How many people do you think Daredevil has listened in on accidentally? He must have heard some, like...
Literally, that happens once a day, every day of his life.
He must hear literally everybody in his apartment building using the bathroom. That must be real weird and real gross.
What I immediately came to was, Jesus, crappy apartments. I'm pretty sure there might be like, oh, God.
He hears things he does not want to.
Even when he was roommates with Foggy Nelson, and Foggy had that hot girlfriend who we see in season 1 in the legal bureau. She was
Marcy.
Yeah, Marcy.
Still.
Do you think he could hear them just going at it? Like, even if he's like down the hall, if he like leaves the apartment, he could probably hear that.
Oh, he'd be able to hear, like, even if he was trying not to, he'd be able to hear like everything.
Being Daredevil sounds more like a curse than it is a superpower.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like given the choice, would you rather be blind or a Daredevil?
Oh, well, a Daredevil, because then you're not really blind, but you just have to, like, learn to deal with the other stuff. Like, you know how his sense of, like, all of his senses are really good, so, like, his sense of taste is so good that he can't, like, enjoy ice cream or anything because he can taste all of the ingredients?
Yeah.
Imagine if, whenever he brushes his teeth, the minty taste is so extreme that he tries to avoid brushing his teeth. Whenever he does, he cries because of how painful it is.
Oh my God.
But we just hear like, Matt, are you okay? I'm fine, I'll be done in a minute. He's just like, it's like eating like a really hot pepper for us.
He can't wipe his ass with anything but like the softest of baby wipes, otherwise it
because
hurts
it feels like fiberglass.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It feels like somebody's running a knife up his asshole every time he tries to wipe.
They just feel like, Matt, are you alright? What's going on in the... I'm fine, don't come in.
Oh, good. It's like the scene from X-Men Last Stand where it's like, I'm fine, don't come in, and they barge in, except it's just Matt Murdock on the toilet in immense pain. Just like covered in blood. That poor guy.
It's just... But that also raises the point, because he's, like, his sense of touch is so sensitive, every time that he gets beaten up in the show, it hurts way more for him than it would for a normal person. Like, you know that bit where Nobu's going at him with, like, the knife chain?
Oh.
Knife chain.
Knife chain.
And he's ripping him apart, and that one bit where he digs the knife into him and, like, drags him across the floor.
Yeah.
That must hurt. Like, how it would feel to a normal person times a billion.
Could you imagine one of Wilson Fisk's punches then? Because Wilson Fisk, for my money, is probably the strongest person we see on that show, like physical strength-wise. So, like,
well, he's the strongest person in the Defenders who doesn't have magic powers.
Yeah, I honestly think he could probably beat Luke Cage in a fist fight, but that's just my opinion. Nobody else agrees.
But no, I don't think so. Like, there's that bit where after he finds out Wesley died, he beats that one guard to death in like 4 punches.
Which is amazing. Or he just picks Owl up and flings them down an elevator shaft. I love... the people listening to the podcast, you can probably hear my voice, but Wilson Fisk is by far my favorite Netflix character. He's the fucking...
so good.
I love him so much. Like that scene where the Russian interrupts him at dinner with Vanessa, and he calmly takes him out in the car, and then the Russian sitting in the back, Fisk opens the door, drags him out, and crushes his head with a car door. It's spectacular. That's just so great. Oh, fuck, I love Wilson Fisk.
We just have an episode where we just talk Daredevil, you know?
I think this is our Daredevil episode as well. We've gone from Iron Fist to Defenders back to Daredevil. Because holy shit, Daredevil.
Fine, while we're at it, let's talk Jessica Jones. Fucking love David Tennant, mate.
That's a bit far. No, okay. Jessica Jones is pretty damn awesome, I'll be honest. I love that show as well. I haven't rewatched it like I rewatched Daredevil, though. I don't think you can rewatch Jessica Jones, though. It's some
pretty heavy shit, lad.
That, and it's kind of a mystery, kind of a thriller. So every time something's revealed, you're like, oh shit, that's awesome. But knowing those things going in, you're like, I guess that's cool enough. Like, if you know the scene... If you know certain scenes going in, it's not as impressive, I believe. Like, I knew about that scene where David Tennant holds up a police station, for example. And because I knew that was coming, I'm like, any minute now they're all going to turn their guns, and there we go. Still a good scene, but knowing about it kind of ruins it.
Still, I just rewatch it for David Tennant, because...
Yeah, David Tennant. Mr. Flexi Neck, to quote our good podcast.
Courtesy of Dan.
Mr. Flexi Neck. Alright, so I think we should wrap this up because we have gotten a good 40 minutes out of this. I thought that we'd get 10 minutes out of this of me wrapping up the show because we didn't have an ending. But we got another 40 minutes over Skype, so I'm fine with that. Sorry, audience, if the audio quality isn't great or if I'm rambly.
Yeah, we're real sorry about today.
Even then,
just
we're low
with
energy.
people, times, and places, it's just...
Next week, we will
Everything
have
was just
a
topsy-turvy.
full and proper episode. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be our magnum opus. It's going to be great.
It's going to blow your tits off.
Oh, all your tits. All
Yeah,
several
what
of your
should we
tits.
talk about next week? Is there anything happening?
Don't let them know we don't have a topic planned.
No, we have a topic planned. Next week we will talk about any news items that come up like we normally do. And I was thinking we pitch what we think the Justice League movie should be. Yay or nay?
Yeah.
Sound good? Also, I hope...
Two final things. Two last things before we close.
Go for it.
One, it's super annoying that the main villain of Iron Fist was a guy who literally couldn't die. Like, every time you killed him, he'd just come back. They basically had Jack Harkness as the villain. And yet, Iron Fist didn't kill him once. Not once. Even though this guy could come back, did they give Iron Fist a chance to just fucking blow his intestines out his ass.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
Two, Harold Meacham was played by Faramir from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what did you think of Harold Meacham? Like...
He's one of my favorite villains to come out of the MCU. I loved him. He was so good.
Which one? I'm honestly real confused because I've kind of purged the show from my brain already. Which one is Harold? Is
He was the
father?
dad. He was the dad.
He was alright. He kind of hopped on the crazy train real fast.
I felt like he'd been on that train for what was like since his dad came back, and it was just a combination of It was a combination of Danny coming back and his sister finding out about his drugs that caused him to fully go off the edge.
Oh, you're talking about the son. You're talking about Ward Meacham. Ward is awesome. Yeah, you said Harold. I was thinking the father. Yeah, Ward is pretty sweet.
Oh no, Harold had already been crazy. Harold had been crazy since the beginning.
Ward, I kind of liked. What's the name of his sister again?
Oh,
Joy.
fuck Joy.
Joy would not be in my version. You could have Ward, you could have Harold, but I am not adding Joy unless you make her the love interest. Because otherwise that character serves literally no purpose.
Yeah, I hated Joy so much, but Ward was one of the most interesting characters in the show, and Harold is just one of my favorite Marvel villains of all time.
That scene with the ice cream where he beats his, he stabs his, accountant? Kyle, he stabs Kyle to
his
death.
assistant. And then at the end of it, when he's just like talking to the corpse, he's like, "Don't be afraid."
Yeah, he like curls up with it.
It's understandable that being dead and then not being dead would like mess you up as a person.
It diminishes his value for life and existence.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot to dislike about Iron Fist, but there are a few really good moments like that I enjoyed. Like the handprint on the outside of the window.
I absolutely probably my favorite part of the entire season though. I loved Harold Meacham so much. I loved Ward. I loved Colleen. I loved Jerry Hogarth. Danny was fine. I think Finn Jones did a pretty good job. It wasn't spectacular, but he was grand. But by far my favorite scene in the entire show was when Scythe killed all those Yakuza and sang "Take on Me."
That is
with
so
a shitty
funny.
karaoke place, and then strangled the guy with the microphone cord.
That was one of the best intros to any episode. What did you say the name of that character was?
His name is Scythe.
One sec. I'm looking up the character I thought that was. You remember I mentioned the character earlier, Master of Kung Fu? I thought that's who it was. It was going to be. One sec. I'm going to look up that guy's name right now because I think he should be in Daredevil. He's who. Shang-Chi. That's his name. Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu. He was Iron Fist before there was an Iron Fist, basically. Back in the 70s, before they made Iron Fist, that's who Marvel were publishing. And I think they should have worked him into Iron Fist somehow as an opponent for Danny Rand to fight. Because he's pretty fucking awesome.
You mean Shang-Chi is the guy who's literally just Bruce Lee.
Yes.
As in, he's identical to Bruce Lee in every way.
He's like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan combined into one. He's got like Bruce Lee's fighting style, but with Jackie Chan's comedic abilities and likability.
But seriously, listeners, look up Shang-Chi right now. They drew Bruce Lee. He looks exactly like Bruce Lee.
Oh yeah, like dead on. But we know they love homaging stuff because we see like the Drunken Master is based off Jackie Chan anyway.
The Jackie Chan character, the Drunken Master.
Yeah. You know what? Once again, a lot of things to dislike. A lot of stuff you like in this. I would love to have seen Shang-Chi, and I would love to have heard any bit of a reference to our favorite character on this podcast, Fing Fang Foom. If there was any
I actually had an idea. I forgot, but I did have an idea for a Defender's pitch. I forgot it, but I will bring it up next week.
All right.
Oh.
Also, you remember? Oh, I'm going to add this into my pitch actually right now. You remember how I mentioned in my pitch the Steel Serpent would be another part of the one of the Heavenly Cities and have his own Iron Fist move. In my version, his would be granted to him by the dragon Fing Fang Foom. It's just a tiny Easter egg, but that's what I would throw in there.
Okay.
Oh my god. Well, guys, I think we should wrap this up.
Oh, yeah.
But before we do, give Iron Fist. What rating would you give Iron Fist?
Oh, but can I just say, you could have a bunch of stuff with who that guy got his powers from. You could say he got his powers from like Big One or Mr. Lao or Yao, because there's a load of dragons in Marvel. But Fing Fang Foom would probably be the best one.
Because Fing Fang Foom is the best Marvel dragon. Okay, let's wrap this up because we went really fucking long. Holy shit.
Yeah.
We were at the 46-minute mark, plus
So, guys,
the 40 minutes we did earlier.
what rating would you give Iron Fist?
A solid...
I would give it a 7 out of 10.
A solid 3 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know me, I'm a major Marvel fan. I fucking love Marvel stuff. This is not their strongest outing. Don't get me wrong, there's stuff to like in here, but it's not...
But it's not exactly Iron Man 3, so...
I was one of the few people who liked Iron Man 3, I think. But I also thought it was better than Luke Cage. Luke Cage was...
Yeah.
The first 6 episodes of Luke Cage are great, but once they introduced Diamondback, that show just went downhill like a derailing train.
But the last 6 episodes of Luke Cage are better put together than any episode of Iron Fist. Like, they're more coherent.
Yeah, that's the thing. Luke Cage had higher production quality, but the final battle of Iron Fist was a tense rooftop confrontation where it's a gun versus a guy with martial arts, and the final confrontation in Luke Cage was a World Star YouTube video where 2 guys fight in the middle of the street.
I'm gonna be honest.
Is yelling, "Kick his ass!"
I don't like that final fight in Luke Cage, but it was better than Danny Rand fighting an old man with a gun. And then just slapping the gun out of his way and hiding from him on the rooftop, because that's what he does.
It was really weird of them, but
then
he was just like he wanted him to like admit to the murder or something.
It was like a really shit version of Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a It was either Die Hard 2 or like Die Hard 5. It's like the real shit version of John McClane, basically. And on that note, I've been Jack for the Unproductive Nerds.
I didn't get my one. Shut up.
I've been John for the Unproductive Nerds. I'm hosting the show with my co-hosts, Ramon and Jack. Today we're going to be talking about Luke Cage, and we're going to be watching the Justice League trailer.
We've already made the joke that Dan is our new leader. We brought Dan so we can talk about Danny Rand.
More than an hour of recording. I did a callback. And you know what that's called? That's called a bookend, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Godspeed. Bye. We realize we forgot to let Rhiannon give her rating, so we're really jarringly going to give it now. Rhiannon, what do you give Iron Fist out of 10?
I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10.
And on that bombshell,
good night. And have a good
night. You did not just quote Top Gear. Go die in a hole, John.
Hey, Top Gear was good.
It was awfully scripted.
I've got a great joke about Top Gear, but I think it might even be too filthy for this podcast. And on that
Is it about Richard Hammond?
No, it's about
casual racist.
It's about James. It's about James May being a taint.
Okay.
Because he's stuck between a dick and an asshole. Good night, everyone. Have a good weekend.